Section 8 is a scam. What's going on, good guys? Chris Newton here, Chris Newton Real Estate, chrisnewtonrealestate.com. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Section 8 is a scam. Now, is it a scam as far as like a Ponzi scheme or so? Maybe not. I'm not going there with it. What I'm saying, real estate is a scam. When I'm saying Section 8 is a scam, I'm specifically talking about the rabbit hole or the loophole that it puts certain communities in. Now, speaking as a black man from Brooklyn, from the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, Crown Heights, Prospect Heights section of Brooklyn, grew up with nothing but minorities around me. It was blacks and Latinos. That's how we grew up, blacks and Latinos. I believe all of us was on Section 8 on that block on Lincoln. I truly believe that. So I'm not sitting here talking down on Section 8 or people with vouchers. I grew up on Section 8, okay? My block, yes, I grew up on Section 8. When my mom made more money, the rent went up. When she couldn't work, we didn't pay any rent. You gotta keep your stuff at a certain level. Like, I grew up that way, okay? I definitely grew up on Section 8. Now, what do I mean by it's a scam? When I say Section 8 is a scam, it's because it forces people, it encourages people that are on Section 8. And remember, from my experience and from my vantage point, these are targeted towards specific demographic. It encourages these demographics to continue to stay in this pattern of Section 8, okay? And why do I say that? Because when you look at the rental market, we're looking at $2,000 for a one bedroom, $2,500 for a one bedroom, $3,000 for a two bedroom, and it continues to go up and up and up and up. You have to make 40 times the rent. You have to have great credit. Now, when you have somebody that qualifies for the Section 8, they were put on a waiting list. They waited a year or 2 or 5 years, whatever, to finally get approved for Section 8. They don't have that income and they don't have that credit. Now, if you start to make the 40 times the rent, you no longer qualify for the Section 8. So now, why would I want to make 40 times the rent and have good credit when I'm actually being penalized for doing that, right? I'm being penalized for having great credit, whatever, but I'm being penalized for having good income. Why? Because now I'm making $80,000 a year. However, when I was on Section 8 making $15,000 or $20,000 a year, my rent was basically free. But now, or let's say it was $200 or $500 a month. Now that I'm making $80,000, I no longer qualify for it. Now I gotta pay $2,500 a month in rent. So now you're telling these people that's been on Section 8 for all of these years, listen, you're good, stay here, because if you don't stay in these projects, if you don't stay in this complex, you're going to have to pay $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month. You got to have great credit. If you don't want to pay that, which now seems crazy, like what? Why? Because in those areas of Section 8, what's around you? McDonald's, Burger King, Foot Locker, Jimmy Jazz, all of these places that will pay you minimum wage or minimum wage or close to it, right? So now you're incentivized to work at these lower income bracketed stores or job opportunities to live almost rent free. So why am I going to college? Why am I becoming an entrepreneur? Why am I doing the right thing? Because when I do the right thing, I'll have to pay all of this money. I also had children young. I didn't go to the greatest schools. I didn't have the greatest people around me. My mother, because of what happened, and the people that's a whole different story, but they were incentivized to separate the black and Latino families. Right, so is a single parent household. My mother, sometimes the single father, has to now work 2 jobs. I'm a latchkey kid, so now I'm outside. The streets are raising me. I'm outside with my friends. Maybe my mom is home by street lights. I go inside. Is enough time to eat some food or whatever, then go back to sleep, wake up, go to school, do it all over again. My mom don't get home until 7, 8 o'clock at night. Then you continue that cycle. Maybe she's working 2 jobs. Maybe she's working 2 jobs and a side job. So I never see my mom. So now I don't have the knowledge or desire, because I don't know any better, to go to now understand financial literacy, to now understand how credit works, to now understand how to make more money, right? So I'm gonna stay in Section 8. I'm gonna stay right here on this block where everybody's depressed and sad, and now everybody's killing each other, everybody's robbing each other, everybody's doing all of this craziness to each other. I'm incentivized to stay there. You go to these other neighborhoods, right? Right up the block from Lincoln Place. Remember, I'm from Lincoln, between Classen and Franklin. So once you turn the corner, you're on Eastern Parkway and Classen. You turn the corner right there, now you're on Eastern Parkway. The rents, boom, go straight up. The rents go straight up because now you're by co-ops. You also buy townhouses, but that's on Eastern Parkway. I mean, you also have you also have townhouses, but you also have apartments, but that's Eastern Parkway between Classen and Franklin. Those are apartments. Those are also Section 8 apartments. But now when you're going past that, those apartments are not Section 8. Those apartments are high up here, right? You down there going towards Grand Army Plaza, those are co-ops. So now everything changes once you go over there. Everything. You don't see no graffiti. Everybody's cars washed. You don't see any police. Like everything is just boom. But you're incentivized to just stay on that block. You're incentivized to stay in that projects, to stay in that hood. That's why I say Section 8 is a scam. Then there's generational. You just pass it down and pass it down and pass it down. And you're almost looked at as crazy for trying to get out of there. So now you're going to go somewhere else that accepts Section 8. So maybe you're not incentivized to do better. You're incentivized to stay where you are. Pass it down. That's what you're incentivized to do. And it's just not good. Yes, it helps a lot of people. It does help. It's helpful. It's just a helpful scam. And I'm only speaking for the demographic that I speak to. Right, we need to start learning certain aspects about credit, certain aspects about finances. I'm not saying you have to go to college. I'm not saying that. You don't have to go to college. I didn't go. I went to Medgar Evers College for a day. That was it. I decided to take a trade from Medgar Evers. I started working at Burger King. And then in Burger King, I went to ABI, which is the American Barber Institute, on 29th and 7th, or 29th and 8th, and I learned how to cut hair. So I learned trades, and then I just continued to go on and on and on. And that was just in my body. Pause. Like I needed the entrepreneur bug is what bit me. I just loved it. Decide what you want to do. When you see these celebrities or you see these famous Instagram people and you're like, listen, what do they do for a living to afford this $50 million mansion? What do they do for a living to afford a $5 million 2-bedroom apartment? What do they do? I'll tell you one thing, they not on Section 8. I'll tell you that much. I'm gonna end it here because I'm gonna keep going on and on and on, and I promised I was gonna keep my videos for 3 minutes or less, and I obviously lied. I'll talk to you guys soon. Later.